How's it going, everybody? Joey here, and today we are discussing about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, but now it has happened, and we have been able to see
Yay.
all sorts of stuff. We got to see stuff about the console, we got to see the games, a little bit of other little features and whatnot. And once again, as you can see, I am not alone. I am joined by the lovely Michael over here on my right. How to think about that?
Yes. I'm lovely, by the way. Isn't that great?
Me on my channel, you are. There you go.
You're lovely too, Joey. We're all just lovely people here, and we're
There you
happy to
go.
talk about Switch 2 stuff.
Yes, very excited. We have a lot to talk about, so we're going to just get right into it. Um, but going into the console, just to start us out with that. So, um, Oz, I'm gonna hand it over to you. What were just your thoughts from the big 10-ish minutes we got them just talking about the console for a while?
So I was start off by saying I was on time, unlike some people I know. So I was there. I was there with anticipation there, and I was really excited. I really wanted to know what everything had. You kind of did the Lord's work here and wrote down some of the stuff that I
Sure.
needed to remember because I was going to forget. So 4K HDR on the screen. Well, actually, it's 1080p screen, which I think is a bit overkill. Like this, as far as the hardware goes,
Yeah.
right? So they kind of showed off. Like I think 1080p is a little. I mean, cool. They probably could buy 1080p panels. I'm
Yeah.
guessing, but 1080p, local dimming, HDR, all on the thing itself. It's not an OLED, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. I'm pretty stoked about
I
that.
was not
Can
expecting them to
do
do. I was expecting them to keep it at
Yeah.
720. I was not expecting them to bring it to 1080. Not against it.
720, 800p is good, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's my yeah. You have what did you put? 120 frames a second at 1080p.
Yes.
It's 60 frames at 4K. It's kind of like a HDMI 2.0
Yeah, they
situation.
did performance
Tech
and
nerds
quality
will
mode, I think is what they called it. I think it was performance and
Yeah,
quality. Something like that.
it's kind of like that weird because I mean realistically, most people don't have TVs with HDMI 2.1 anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's a TV you had to have bought the last few years.
Yeah.
Most people just have like 4K TVs. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And then you have 256 gigabytes internal, which is, I could tell you right now, that's great, but that's not going to be enough.
No.
Nowhere close is going to be enough.
But compared to the 32 gigabytes of the base Switch, I was
Yes.
very. They even highlighted that they're like 32 gigabytes. Like, here's how much the new Switch is going to have. They like had like a graphic. It was like, thank you. That is so much
Your
more.
games are going to be so much bigger, though. I
Yeah.
mean, as far
The
as Switch 2
scales.
games, they're going to be a lot bigger. So that makes sense. That 256 is about going to be the equivalent of a 32, in my opinion. Your games are going
I
to be a
see
lot
that.
bigger. So but you have a new memory card you have to get, those SDHC or whatever they're called, the high capacity
Yeah.
fast cards. I forget what they're called.
I saw that.
But yeah, they spent a lot of time on that C button, game chat, I think it's called now. We were all
Yes. I was
very
I
confused as to
was in
what
the
that was for a
range
while.
community. I said community. I was close. So,
You said community, I think I said cursor.
Corsair.
So
I think that was
yeah.
good. Like Corsair would have made sense, but
Yeah,
community
yeah, no.
and
But you essentially got Discord built into the Switch now, as far
yeah,
as I can tell.
they had the
Yeah.
whole. I was shocked when they showed the camera, which again, that's one thing people are like. Oh, what if we got a little webcam to attach on the top of the Switch too? And
Mm.
like we kind of got
No, that's
that.
stupid. We won't have that.
Yeah,
Now, yeah, that's a thing.
yeah. Cause they
I
even
want to
showed.
know though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Or yeah, go ahead. They even showed people using it in docked mode, like the camera, which I'm well not docked, sorry. Handheld mode,
Handheld? Yeah.
and I'm thinking of like who's going to be going to like the local park. Like I'm thinking like the Switch ads that they have on like TV, bringing your camera, bringing your Switch, and having the whole. And more power to you,
I'm, I mean, people
but
bring their whole life to Starbucks sometimes, so I wouldn't put it past them. So
that's true. I'm not that type of person, but I believe.
I want to know, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I just want to know because it wasn't specified. Can I hook up like a Logitech camera to that thing, or does it have to be like the Switch camera?
I feel like the
That's what I wonder.
I do wonder that. I feel like as long as it's a USB C, sure.
Yeah.
Because like they allow Bluetooth headphones. That was later, but they allow that.
Mm,
They allow you any kind of aux, saying that you know they're all Nintendo like licensed
yeah,
headphones you
yeah,
can
yeah.
buy. I don't see them keeping it just that. I say it probably have to be a direct USB-C connection, not like a dongle or anything.
I
If I
think
was
it's
guessing.
like, yeah, it's gonna be a. The capability is not the question. It's like, are they gonna make you buy it, sort of thing. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
no,
That's
no,
what I'm getting at. I don't think they're gonna make you buy it. Depending on how much it
mm,
is, I might buy it just
I think they
because I'm
will.
that kind of guy who's like, oh, I got the
I think
official
they will.
Switch 2 camera.
I think they will make you buy it, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Or what they'll do
Yeah.
is they'll make everyone get it, and then like 6 months later, they'll be like, "We put out a patch where you can use any." It's like, well,
Yeah.
I already bought the
Look
thing,
at the.
so
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But no, yeah, that I think you kind of went over a lot of that there. One thing that I do want to highlight was the game share feature that they kind of went over for a little bit. Pretty much
yeah,
like the evolution of the DS download play is what I took from that. Of
yes,
like, hey, you
absolutely,
own. I think they use 3D World. No, they use Clubhouse Games. I think they use both. But they use like 3D World games like that. Like, hey, like you could just own 3D World, and you could play online or locally with other players, but they don't have to own the game. They did specify
yes.
it's only select games.
It
Um,
can't be a big game. Yeah, it's not. That's not going to work out if it's a big game because they'd be like, "All right, let's get on. Hold on, I got a 3 hour update."
yeah,
That's not going to work out. But Clubhouse games is ideal for that because not everyone has Clubhouse games.
yeah. And Clubhouse
It's a
games, they already
great.
had the like secondary app you could download if you wanted to play with each other.
Hmm.
And now, like, there's a couple of Switch games that do them. Now they don't have to worry about that. Um, and
Like
you
Snipper
have
Clips might do
that.
that.
Snipper
Yeah, I don't
clips, I
know.
don't. I think you just have to own the game. I don't think
I
there's an
don't.
app.
Yeah, I'm not positive. That's why I was very about that
Yeah,
one. So
but that's something I feel like Nintendo's being a lot more, at least in terms of like getting people just to play games. So we have this, we have the digital game cards from last week's Direct, where I can just be like, hey, here's Mario Odyssey. You want to play it for 2 weeks? You know, and
uh,
realistically, that's a game you could beat in 2 weeks, and that's a potential sale
yeah,
they're missing out on. So like stuff like that, I'm like, they're being a lot more friendly about just letting
yeah.
people play games just in general, which I
We're
kind
in
of like.
a the whole games industry, not just Nintendo. We're in a weird like transition to where we're like, do we want to go all digital? Do we want to keep physical media?
Yeah,
Obviously, they're keeping physical media. Everyone is for a while, but I think everyone's going to go digital eventually, and
I think
everyone's trying
so.
to figure out that like, what do we do about X, Y, and Z?
Yeah,
Option at that rate. So they're taking the good steps, I think, though, to get that
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Like, I think the digital game cards that alone was like they're literally like, hey, like, I think that's how they explained it. They were like, here's your real game card. Now you have a digital one. You can do whatever you want with it, pretty much, just like how you would a physical game card. Um,
So they may have said, and I just wasn't paying attention. That's a good possibility. Or I'm old. I don't remember things. So if let's just say I've never met you in real life, Joey. I'm sure you're a fine fellow, but let's just say I have a copy of a game and you want to borrow it, or vice versa. We're not even in the same state. Is that a possibility? Can we do that?
so it is a possibility. Um,
Because I
and
know that they explained it locally. But yeah.
yeah, so you could do it online, but you have to like link your not be friends, but link your Switch accounts at least.
Mm,
Kind of like how we had to meet up locally. You could do it once you meet up locally once. You could keep doing it online as much as you want, and to do it online just period. Like if you don't meet each other at all, you have to link your Switch accounts. Like they didn't really fully explain how that process works. From what it sounds like, it was more like through like the website and stuff. So kind of clunky when you get to that. There's still some weird
yeah.
limitations.
That's
Um,
what I'm saying. Like several of my friends, like I've never met them. Like a lot of a
yeah,
lot of my friends are online friends because it's just like I'm not. How's that gonna work? I have to mail them my
yeah.
Switch.
I
Like,
think they're still
go and
keeping
link this up for
some.
me.
They'll definitely still keep some limitations, just so it's not just like, oh, like one person buys a bunch of games, like here you go, everyone have a game. They still. It's
Yeah,
kind
no,
of meet
they
in the
got to keep
middle.
it from people from taking advantage of the system.
Yeah,
I get that, but I don't know. It's just a weird.
it's a little weird, and they
It's a
didn't.
weird thing. We're gonna have
They
to
didn't.
test that.
Yeah, I think it comes out. I think this Friday. It's sometime this week because it's a Switch
Hmm,
One. It's gonna be on the fourth Switch and the Switch Two.
that's right.
So
That's right. I'm sure I have something digital you don't have, or vice versa. We'll have to give it a
yeah,
go.
So we can mess around with that when the time comes. But
Hmm.
no, yeah. Let me get my notes back up. But it just I was very a lot of the I guess the specs that they talked about with the console itself. I mean, what it was able to do, kind of a step above what I was expecting them to do in some aspects. Like I was not expecting 120 frames. I know it's only like specific games and modes, but I just wasn't
Yeah,
expecting that. Period. I was expecting I was expecting
60
them to
top. Yeah, yeah,
60 top. I was expecting them to be like we're gonna do 2K, not 4K. I was kind of expecting just to take that just a little bit closer, but not all the way. I think that also more explain that we'll get into this a bit more later, but the $450 price tag, it makes it feel a
yeah.
bit more warranted that okay, it is 4K. You could do 120. We have HDR. We have all these things that come with it. Makes it feel like an even more significant upgrade than I feel like we initially thought
Then I
just
thought it was
from
going to be. Yeah.
the the little teaser we got back in January. Um,
And a lot of the games too, I feel like that they showed off that were like Switch 2 games, not aside from third party stuff. I have imagined a lot of that third party stuff is not going to run at 4K. Like
yeah,
Cyberpunk's not running 4K. Final Fantasy, we'll get into that later, but
yeah,
a lot of the games they showed off, like let's just say the spoilers, Donkey Kong,
yep,
coming later, like that looks like it could be on Switch.
yeah,
Like a lot of games they made, like they're like Switch quality, but they're like better resolution, better
yeah.
frame rate. So they're not going nuts with like let's make this as graphically intense as possible. They're like, let's
Mm-hmm.
make this graphically good, but
Yeah.
run well and at a
Yep,
good resolution.
it's a step above the Switch One in terms of even games like Tears of the Kingdom. Like you could tell there's a visual upgrade beyond like the best Switch One games, but they're not like okay, just because we can push it all the way, let's still make it to where you
Yeah,
can
maybe we
do
maybe we
4K
shouldn't.
120, keep it stable, pretty much keep the games at a
Yeah.
stable frame rate and all that. Which for me, it's more important than 4K and all that stuff. I want a good frame rate.
Everyone has their priorities, so I mean, you got to appeal to the widest audience, essentially.
Yeah,
So,
again, that's why they have the two. I thought honestly they said performance and quality. I think that's what they said. I like that they have the
mm,
options. Do you want really high quality or do you want to focus more on frame rate? Either way, it's up to you. Um, Going into more stuff of the hardware, and this is something we heard a lot about, but the mouse. We finally got a full
mm,
demonstration of the mouse feature. Even gonna remind myself the name of the game, Dragon Drive. The
that's
new
right. Yep,
new
yep.
IP with the wheelchair guys. That we got
Yes,
to
like
see
wheelchair basketball or something like that.
basketball. That gave me a
Yeah,
lot of arms vibes. Not in the
me
sense of
too.
okay, not just in the sense of like arms, like oh you have the two Joy Cons, you got the gyro, you can swing and guard and all that. You saw what they were like. You can push forward the move, and then you can like wave the basketball. You can pull them up and slam it down to do a slam dunk and all of that kind of stuff. I thought it was
Yeah, that game
interesting.
looked cool, but I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna be super into it. I'm just not doesn't really not my sort of game, but like I appreciate the innovation there.
It's one of those
It
games
looked
that I'm
interesting.
like, most likely I'm probably gonna pick it up just because it's gonna be in that launch window with those. I'm gonna be just curious
Well,
of
I'm gonna
like
game
how it
fly it for
works.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's honestly probably the smart thing to do. But it's one of those games I'm like, okay, like I'm hoping just from what the little bit we've seen, there might be more too, but I'm kind of it's more of like a $50-$60 game, and I don't think it's gonna be like a $70 game. At least I hope
Yeah,
not.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with ARMS. It's like, and even some of these other games we'll talk about, but it's just like for me as a single player person, and
Yeah,
I don't really even play online that much. I'm just like, I'm gonna get limited use out of this. So I'll
yeah,
probably play it a few times and be like, yeah, okay, I'm good.
yeah.
Yeah.
The coolest thing you get, I was like, oh man, like the mouse feature's neat. Okay.
Hmm. But how is that gonna get old after a while? Just having to, you know,
Yeah, constantly.
eventually you're gonna be like, all right, can I switch to a thumbstick? Like, all right,
Yeah,
I got it.
and I'm sure
Beginning's
like
over.
how I know Arms had it where you just play with a Pro Controller. I'm sure they would have that option too, but they don't
Yeah.
want you to play like that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but just in general, the mouse feature we saw it with Civilization. I believe it was 7 or 8. can't remember which Civilization game it was, whichever one they
7.
showed. 7.
Civ 7.
They
Yep.
showed it like, oh, like we're gonna bring it to the Switch 2, and you can use mouse control, and that's a bit more of a simpler way of using it.
That makes that the best console version right there.
Oh yeah,
just with that feature.
you can use the
Yeah.
mouse and just play it. Like I'm thinking like that. I'm hoping whatever Fire Emblem game they bring next, give it the option to have mouse control for those who want to use it.
Yep.
I mean, I think I that's all I was really expecting them to do in the mouse control. I'm gonna look at the name again. Dragon Drive. It was
Dragon
neat to
Drive,
see
yeah.
that they're like, okay, like they're actually gonna do this in not just the way you were expecting with the mouse controls, but they're like we also have games that like, hey, like you just want to use it, pretty much play like a PC, we got you covered.
Yeah.
So we also
Metroid Prime had it too. You remember that we're talking about that? You could play it with like almost like a keyboard and mouse sort of setup where you can aim with mouse aiming. I was like,
Gotcha.
yes, that's awesome.
I don't know how I missed that. I missed that part, but
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, they showed it.
That's great. I guess that goes into like the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games.
Edition, yeah. I'm torn on this because I was hoping there would just be a generic, like every Switch game gets a res boost.
Yeah.
And so maybe select one gets free, you know, but they do have paid, and they didn't say how much. I'm assuming $10. That's what
that's
PlayStation does. But it's just certain select games that have improvements in frame rate, and I think like features too. They showed Mario Party Jamboree was the first one. It has a few new features: mouse control, camera support.
Yeah.
But then like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is just a res bump and a FPS boost, and they have like an app you can do.
Yeah.
That does things. Zelda Notes, I think it's called. So
yeah, Zelda's Notes. Yep, that's what it was.
Yep. Metroid was obvious. Duh. I mean, I would have been shocked if Metroid did not have a Switch 2 version.
Yeah. And
yeah,
that was one I thought was interesting. So at the end, they showed the 4 Switch games that they showed. They showed those and how you could buy the expansion little thing. I guess I call it DLC. But for Metroid Prime and Pokemon, they did not show those. They were just saying how those be available at retail.
Yes.
And I'm sure they're probably going to have a Switch 1 version of those games too, because they're going to be on both platforms.
Yes. But I'd imagine they would be.
I think those are going to push more as they're going to market them more as Switch 2 games. But you can also
they're cross-gen games. They're like how Twilight Princess was for the Wii and GameCube and stuff like that. That's how I perceive it, at least.
Yeah, no, I think
I'll definitely get the Switch 2 version.
Especially so they have a webpage for the Switch 2 edition games. I'm just flipping through. No information on price, at least just from the quick flip through I'm doing. But you have stuff varying from
$70 for some of them. I saw.
Yeah, for full
like Mario Kart. Yeah,
Mario Kart has no 70, so that's why I'm thinking. Probably,
I think DK is also 70.
Yep, but you have stuff varying from like Pokemon Legends ZA, which is just improved performance, higher frame rate, and resolution. But then you have all the way to like Mario Party Jamboree, which has like 2 new modes, a bunch of new you have the face cam feature for the whole game if you want to do that with friends. And then you have stuff in the middle like Zelda, Kirby and Forgotten.
So like I'm excited about Zelda, but like I've beat the mess out of both those games already. So like I'll do it as like a passing. Like if everyone, those are such huge games to replay.
Exactly.
I'll probably do it just to see. But
it's like one around for like an hour just to like look at.
Yeah, I just want to see. But like the only one I will do, like no question, I will do Kirby and the Forgotten Land because I started that game and I was liking it a lot, and I played for like an hour or two, and then I think something else came out. And I fell off, but I've always wanted to get back to it. But now that they got it, it's perfect time. Yeah,
Forgotten Land, that like we'll get more into Kirby later, but Kirby's
Forgotten Land forgot about here in this
Forgotten Land, it's probably one of my favorite Kirby game, one of my favorite Switch games, and like the moment they showed that, and I was like, the Switch 2 edition comes with like a new story campaign. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna replay this whole game just so I can do the new story campaign.
Yeah, I didn't even beat the thing, so I was like,
no,
now's the time.
I think that's perfect. But no, yeah. Oh wait, how to purchase Wait a minute, is this the price?
Yeah, different
No.
games cost it. They're all higher than 59, I think.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon may not be because I think they're keeping that Switch. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
If it is, it's going to be like $10, $20. I
The
think Mario Kart
upgraded,
is
yeah.
80,
That
80
sounds about
almost.
right.
79.
No, I think that's just looking over my notes again in terms of hardware. We've touched upon the price a bit, like, but the console's going to launch at $449.99,
Yeah,
and then they're doing a bundle with Mario Kart 9, not 9, Mario Kart World. I'm gonna
World.
start
Yeah,
calling it that. The
digital
Mario Kart
edition.
Digital Edition, which that alone means I'm
Mm.
not picking that version up because I want a physical
That
copy.
same. I want a copy of it. So
I'm
that
gonna
means it's
spend
like
the extra
ah.
$20 to buy it physically.
Yeah, I want a
Uh,
physical copy.
like it's
What do
the
you think about
force.
Mario Kart? I guess while we're on that though,
Yeah,
like
honestly,
that was
go
the
ahead,
first thing
roll
they
into
showed.
it. The first thing they showed,
Ah,
and I mean, it looks. I think the best way to put it is like Nintendo tackling like the Forza Horizon.
that's exactly
Yep.
what I said.
I
It's an open
mean,
world. I was like, is this gonna be like Burnout Paradise or like Forza Horizon or
yep.
something where it's just like you can
I
go
think
anywhere?
you
I was
brought
like, I
that
bet
up
it
on the
is.
predictions. I remember that now.
I
Yep.
might have. I don't know. I think I said they needed a new hook because they
Yeah.
couldn't just do the same thing, and that I guess that's their new hook.
Yeah.
I think this will be amazing if you have a group of people. Like I know you probably have several people that are going to be all
Yeah.
up in it. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could hang out with you guys occasionally, but you guys are nuts and will play way longer than I will.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
I'm
definitely
very.
excited for it. Limited appeal though for me personally.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that like we're gonna have that Mario Kart Direct in 2 weeks. It's
Mhm.
2 weeks out from now. And with it being that big open world, something that I've wanted to bring to Mario Kart is like kind of like a Diddy Kong Racing esque story mode.
Dude,
And with them having this
I
big
love
open
Diddy Kong
world,
Racing.
I feel like this would be the time for them to do it. Like here's a launch title. The next big game they have after that would be Donkey Kong, which would be kind of your first player game, but that's also in July, so you kind of have a month. So
Yeah.
they give kind of single players something a bit more to do. I think here's a big story mode. Obviously, you still have the Grand Prix mode that they showed. You have the knockout mode. You have the elimination mode. That's the same thing. Um, but the free roam mode, that's what it is. The free roam mode and the knockout mode are the two that they talked about.
Mm.
Both of those look a lot of fun. But I'm hoping they have some kind of story mode. Doesn't need to be some crazy
I
storyline, just like a mission mode or something like that.
I'm hoping they have and I don't know if they will, but I'm hoping, and the reason why I say I don't know if they will is I only know me and my podcast host, co-host Dwight. I definitely prefer like pick the race, do the race, pick the race. Like I don't want to drive to the race.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't mind it. I will play a game like that, but I definitely prefer the like. There's a difference between like Burnout Takedown and Burnout Paradise. Like I
Yeah.
just prefer Burnout
I
because
do
it's like
hope
pick
they
the race, do the
have.
race. You know.
Yeah, I hope they have a mode that's like I do like probably for my first time playing through. I'll do the Grand Prix mode where it's like go through all the races and you travel between
Yeah.
tracks, but just have like the I think they normally call it Versus. It's like Versus mode in the Mario Kart games where it's like, hey, you want to play Mario Kart Stadium, you want to play Peach's Cast, whatever the courses are called,
Yeah. Exactly.
and that's I think they'll have that. I don't see them not doing that, but they didn't show it either, so it's kind of like, but
Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. I'm gonna play it regardless. I'm gonna enjoy it
yeah,
regardless. It's just like the way it's set up. It's like this is
yeah,
definitely more of a social experiment, not
yep.
experiment, experience. I guess is the word I want to
Experience,
use.
yeah.
Then I'm lone wolf when it comes to video games for the most part.
Yep.
So
No. But I definitely know my first thought though when they showed the free roam and like you could do it online was like I do a lot of streams with my viewers. I'm like that is perfect.
that's
24
perfect for
viewers can
you.
join. I can just turn on the lobby. 24 up to 24
Go
viewers can
nuts.
join. We're winding around like hey we're gonna start a race in the Bowser's Castle track. Everyone meet there if you want to join, or you just keep running around doing whatever you want. Um, that's what I liked about Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder how you have like 16 people in your lobby,
Mm.
but everyone can be doing different courses at the same time. Like that was perfect. Just have viewers hop in and out of levels, and that's the kind of stuff that as a streamer has appealed to me. But
Yeah.
No, yeah. So the other thing I do want to highlight with Mario Kart was two things. One, they're pulling they're doing costumes for the characters like from tour, which is
Yes.
something I know a lot of people wanted. And the bigger thing, and I think this goes to just the 24 Wasters. There was a lot of characters.
Yes.
There
Yeah,
was
there was a lot. And
the
I don't
hunt.
think that's the end of them too. I'm sure there'll be DLC
No,
characters.
I think we're going to see at the direct.
The cow
Honestly,
was racing.
the
The
cow. So the
random
Moo
cow
Moo
from Moo Moo
cow.
Meadows was racing.
Like the Buzzy Beetles. We saw the bee. I saw Hammer Bro, who I don't think's been playable either.
It was like the Gary's mods of Mario Kart. It was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We got a model, throw it in there.
Yeah, and then you had all the outfits. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the roster for this game ends up doubling what 8
Like
had.
50 or something. Yeah.
I think 8 didn't 8 have like 50, 40?
I don't know. It had a
I
lot.
don't know.
I mean,
It had a lot.
another thing, grinding and wall riding also kind of got. I was like, that's pretty dope.
Okay, that was the wall
Get some
jumps
Tony
and
Hawk
then
there in there.
that was really cool when they were wall jumping with the car, and I was like, that's a fun way. That actually another thing I noticed. They did not go underwater. They drove on the cars turned into boats, like the Sonic racing.
Oh
game.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't even really. Yeah, they did though, didn't they?
It only happened for like
Interesting.
a little, like one or two scenes. By someone who's always said that I think Sonic All Stars Racing Transform is better than base Mario Kart 8, mainly because I think the Transform is just better in that game. It was interesting to see like, oh, they're not doing just a drive, but now it's slightly slower. It's like here's actually a different way to drive around on a boat.
I mean, we could pick this thing apart, but you won't have to wait that much longer for like a real direct to like point you out all the features of it. So,
and I'm sure I'll be there, hopefully on time that time, and actually react to it, and I'll probably have another discussion video just about that. It's that time. It's that time. We finally have.
You can call me when they do a Zelda. I won't be there for Mario Kart, but you could definitely call me for Zelda or something. So.
I'm sure that's coming up here soon.
Oh yeah.
But so the next game they showed was the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I don't think that's the name, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I took a note on that. What did I say exactly? Go ahead though. What you said.
So. Okay, I think it's a fun little game, and the whole time they're showing the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like we talked about in the predictions, like an Astro's Playroom kind of game.
Yes.
I'm like, that's pretty much what this is. And then they dropped that it was not free and it was paid.
That's a bad idea.
And I'm like,
just gonna say that this is a free pack-in software. This needs to be already installed on the system.
I think I said it in my stream. I was like, $10 max if I'm gonna buy it, and I'm like,
even still, it's
the
prince, and I bet
I don't like it.
I bet that's what that was gonna be probably.
Mm-hmm.
They probably started it to do that, and they're like, we're putting too much into this. You think we could charge for this? We could charge for this
because you saw all the little mini games that they had, and I know I happened to catch in the force because they had like a whole, I guess we'll call them like areas. It was like Joy-Con left, and on the top left said 0 out of 18 missions done. So it's like assuming each mission's one of those little mini games. Like, does it say you have 18 for that, 18 for the white Joy-Con? You know that alone's 40. The touchpad the actual console itself probably have like 40. And I'm like, okay, I can see maybe it kind of ballooned a bit, but even then, I'm just kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to like. It's one of those things I'm probably going to buy just because, like, I'm a Nintendo.
Oh no, I want to play it. I'm not questioning the quality of it, but it's definitely the Wii Sports of this generation. It's the Nintendo Land, both which games were packaged in with the system.
Yeah,
I get that Mario Kart is a popular thing and you want to package it in, but this is the thing that it should be free to like get you familiar with all the aspects of the system.
Yeah, well,
because not everyone's gonna watch this Nintendo Direct. I mean, a lot of people did, but we're fans. Yeah, I'm gonna go tomorrow and to work, back to work, and talk to people, and I guarantee like maybe one person watched it.
Yeah,
so
like I can tell the same thing. I've had multiple people be like, I'm not gonna watch it, but tell me about it when you come back to work. And I'm like,
tell me about it.
yeah, so and that probably won't be something I bring up. To be honest, it's because.
And then I had one guy be like, "You're taking off work?" just for that. I was like, people take off work for sporting events
Yeah,
or stuff like that. Like, people have different
exactly.
interests. God, I'm not gonna get into the semantics of that, but it's like,
That's a
people like
whole
different
no
things.
discussion.
It's a whole thing.
Yep.
Maybe that's a
But
podcast discussion for one day. But
honestly, yeah. But no, ultimately the little welcome thing, like it's a fun little thing. I'm sure I'll check it out. I feel like it should have been a little pack, and I think that's the biggest thing I took away from that. Was like that should be a
mm,
pack in title. Um,
absolutely.
but now let's see. I gotta keep myself where we're at. All right, so after that, they kind of did a big the force. They did 3 third party showcases. And in my notes, I didn't write down all of them. I just wrote down the big ones that I took away from the Force Showcase.
hmm I should
I
probably
think,
just pull up the direct and scrub through it. That would probably be a smart idea for me to do. Yeah.
yeah.
Go
I'll
ahead
go.
though.
But say if you want to do that, I'll go ahead. Elden Ring was the first one, which that was
I feel
expected,
like that was such such expected. Yeah.
but still very, still just nice to get the confirmation. Be like, okay, like that's a big game for us to get. That's only a couple years
hmm
old, and it comes with the DLC. I think it says the Tarnished Edition. I believe is what it is.
I am not that person, but I'm sure some people are stoked.
Oh yeah, well, like in one, just the fact that one game of the year, it was the game, one
hmm
of the big games from what 2021, I believe, or 2022, one of those
Something
years.
like that.
Um, it's like we talk about in the predictions. That's that kind of game. It's like, and that was a game they really spotlighted. They had the whole fade to black and everything for it. That was like
hmm
their Skyrim for the Force Switch, where it's like, look at this massive game that you talk about people out like work, people who aren't even really like big in the video games at least
Oh
know
yeah.
about Elden Ring. So that's an eye catcher, I'm
My
sure.
yeah, my friend Ashley, like that's the only game she's probably played for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
So
she's obsessed with it.
that's going to be one that bring a lot of people in, and then of course you have like Mario Kart. People are like, oh, like everyone knows Mario Kart. Everyone likes Mario Kart.
Hmm.
Got that. You got Elden Ring. You got. I put
So
Madden
I got the
here.
direct pull up here.
You got it. All right.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and talk about Madden since I said it already. Only reason I want to bring this up was just because I was shocked that EA never pulled the trigger on Madden on Switch because how popular it was.
They didn't, did they? Huh.
They did. EA was very
I didn't
absent,
even think about
especially
that.
like early on. A
Hmm.
lot of third parties were absent outside of a few, but later on, eventually everybody
Hmm.
came through. EA, I don't think they did release games on the Switch, but I don't think they released any of their sports games. That's why I think they highlighted it here. The last
Probably
Nintendo Madden game was Madden 13 on the Wii U.
on the Wii U. Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I'm so disconnected from like that like era of sports titles. I
yeah,
don't know what's going on at all.
that's the only reason why I even know about the Madden for Nintendo is just because I'm the Wii U guy. I have a copy of Madden 13, and
Mm,
I just kind of like, oh yeah, like that was the last one they released on Nintendo platforms. That's a kind of a neat nugget of history I got for that one. But not
yeah.
anymore. Doing that, I think they've said FIFA and what's the other
Whatever it's
one?
called now. I know it's not called FIFA anymore. It has
It's
like a
not
new
called
name, I
FIFA. It's
think.
that, and there's a third one that they'll bring in. And then also,
Yeah.
I think 2K's also 2K's always been bringing those sports to the Switch, but they're going to keep doing
Mm.
that. They brought that up later on.
Woo.
Um, I don't know.
I need
I
one
know
of
they were
those
doing the
party
basketball
spinners.
already. I know they highlighted the Westland. I don't know if they were already doing that, but if that's new, cool to get the Wessel stuff over as well. Um,
Only thing I know about wrestling is some guy told me I look like Triple H one time. Which I guess I don't know. I
so I
was
don't even
like,
know
all
who you're
right.
talking about, so that shows how
I
out
don't
of
know
it
who that
we
is either.
are.
I'm assuming he's probably a big guy with long hair because that's what I
That's
am.
that sounds about right. That's probably what it is. But no, and then the last third part I put down was the Street Fighter 6, just because that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one, and I was surprised too. And I wrote this. I'm surprised there are amiibo coming out with it.
I forgot to write that down because I
I was
okay
like, really? Okay, amiibo for Street Fighter. Interesting.
3 figures and
We saw one other amiibo instance, but that's surprising to me.
yeah. Wait, what was the other amiibo?
They did not do it in the direct, but they announced it afterwards that new Hyrule Warriors has 4 new
Ooh,
amiibo.
Fun. I'm excited for that.
4
But
or 5. Might be 5.
that's like they could do one for like the two, the king and the queen, and then the little other ancient people, all of them together. I would think.
They've shown them. I don't remember what they were
Now I want
because
to
I don't
just.
remember. I think they're the Goron guy, the Rito. I do not remember their names. I feel bad, but I really don't remember their names.
Real quick,
Um,
Blue.
yeah, go check out Blue
Defense.
Sky. It was on. It was on the.
Here it is. I found it on Reddit, and like, here we go.
There you go. There
Um.
you go. Good old Reddit.
Oh, okay. It's the new Guardians from Tears of the Kingdom. I thought it was going to be
There you
based
go.
off of
Those.
Age of Imprisonment. Okay, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Those are all
Yeah.
characters that honestly I would want figures of because they're all a lot of them are from the original game too.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. But no, yeah, that and my reaction to the amiibo was, wow, we're getting amiibo cards again. Why do I want to buy all of these? I just something about amiibo. There's just that draw to it. I think we talked about the predictions. I'm just like, yep, we'll get all those figures, all the cards, even though I've never played a Street Fighter game. So
I have Street Fighter 6, and it's fun,
yeah, I'll probably
but
pick
I'm
it
not
up.
super into it.
I don't know. It's one of those. I've never been big into fighting games outside of course, Smash Brothers, but that's very much its own beast. So
I love fighting games. I just don't play them a lot because it's like, hey, again, it's the whole like lone wolf thing. A limited appeal for a single
yeah,
player for the most
that
part.
makes sense. But no, is there anything else on that Forza little third party showcase you wanted to highlight?
I don't know. Let me pull the video back up because yeah, you said Street Fighter. I did notice the first like couple seasons are coming out, so 26 characters. Hogwarts Legacy's there
Yep.
again. It's like they can't stop selling that game.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that wasn't an upgrade, like a Switch 1 upgrade. I guess that's just a
There
new
was a few
version.
third parties that said Switch 2 edition with it, but I don't think that one did.
And maybe that's the case. Tony Hawk's 3 and 4. You know, I said I don't really care about sports games, but I love Tony
Tony
Hawk,
Hawk, yep.
especially Tony Hawk 3. I will probably that last one they came out, I bought it on everything, and I'll probably buy this on everything
Yeah.
too. We had Cyberpunk. This is where it froze, by the way.
Oh, okay. See,
Um,
that's interesting because for me, it froze at a completely different area, and I just refreshed the stream and it worked. But when I was watching
yeah,
the
so
replay,
it froze for everybody at one point, but let's see. So Cyberpunk's coming.
yep.
Hitman's coming. James Bond. They talked about Bravely Defaults.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
the
excited for
3DS.
that. I'm pretty excited for that. I mean, I have it on 3DS, but I mean, I'll totally double dip.
Yeah.
Yakuza 0,
Yep.
director's cut. That is one of the best Yakuza games. If you ever want to get in the
Okay.
series, that's a great place to start.
I was wondering about that because I was like, I know there's a lot of Yakuza games. I'm like, is this one I should be excited about or not?
Yes,
Okay,
that is one
cool.
of the best and
I'm
a
glad to hear it.
great entry point. Let's see, but I think that's about it. I'm kind of just scrubbing through right now.
Yeah.
Yakuza, yeah.
I feel like that's about.
Oh, and
Like I said-
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah, that was
Enter
in the second third party showcase.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we'll get to that in a little bit because I do have notes on those
we'll get
too.
to that.
But so after that, we already touched upon it a bit, but we got Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, which I'm shocked none of us
Yes.
thought about bringing up Hyrule Warriors because it's been a couple years when we talk about our Zelda
I like
game.
that last one. I like that last one a lot, but
Yeah,
I just kind of felt like
Calamity.
that was it.
Yeah, and okay, so I didn't say this during the my reaction, but I almost certain like the director of those games was like, yeah, like we're done with like with Hyrule Warriors. We're going to try to do some other Warriors games if we do more of Nintendo. Like, oh well, they show Nintendo's not done, but and then they did Three Hopes with Fire Emblem, and so
Yeah, that's right.
when I saw Koei Tecmo, I was like, oh, I'm like, I wonder what Nintendo franchise they're tackling. And then I saw the Zelda ruins. I'm like, this is Tears of the Kingdom, and like,
Again.
so I'm kind of like, I'm not against it. It looks a lot of fun. I won't lie. I definitely was like, this. Looks
I mean, I'm
cool.
gonna play the heck out of it.
Yeah,
So
I think that's gonna be the holiday time because I want to say they said winter, so that and Pokemon. So that's still very.
they have
exciting.
other game types though that aren't Muso games.
Yeah.
So I thought wouldn't this be cool if this was an adventure game with Zelda
There was a
set in that
section
universe?
near the beginning, and it was after some cinematics happened, and you saw like the camera kind of like there was a cinematic, it kind of zoomed out a bit, and you saw it almost looked like someone was controlling Zelda to send like an open field for a little bit.
I saw that and I was like, what? And then it zoomed past all the moblins, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
But see, then it cut to that, so I think there
Yeah.
might be a bit more because they did with Age of Calamity. They kind of mixed in some more Breath of the Wild elements into that game.
They did.
So I'm kind of
And they opened it up even more with Fire Emblem as far as it like being less of a Muso, more of a.
Yeah. With
So like,
Hubs,
yeah, you'll probably have a little bit more in there. But yeah,
it'll
I
still
don't
be
know. I'm gonna play it for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm hoping they don't pull the dumb plot twist they did with Age of Calamity, if you know what I'm talking about.
I don't even remember what happened in that game. Like
So-
I played a lot of it.
Yeah.
I even played the DLC, and I couldn't tell you what happened at all. So,
for people who don't know, the game's a couple years old. If you don't want to hear about it, skip ahead. But at the end of Age of Calamity, because obviously the whole thing's the war where everyone dies at the end. Well, because of time travel shenanigans, it's actually an alternate timeline where nobody dies, and it's a happy ending. And it's kind of like...
Oh, yeah. I could have told you that was going to happen from the game.
But, I don't know, I guess because it's Zelda and it's teen weighted, it's like, come on, like... we all know how the story ends, and then at the end you could have been like, play Breath of the Wild. So,
yeah.
I'm hoping they do that with this one. They probably won't, but it's just...
I don't know.
And it doesn't
They'll
matter
have to
too
do
much.
something with this one because you're going to be very limited on the amount of characters you can have if you
That's
don't.
true. Because you have...
yeah.
You have the 4 ancient champions, you have...
You're going to have the people they shown, and
Sonya.
that's it. There's nobody
Pretty
else
much,
around.
yeah, 5. Like, Ganon will probably be playable again, just because why not, but that'll be a different... Maybe like a side campaign or something they do.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they'll introduce some new characters for fun. So, who knows?
At least one.
But, yeah, but that was exciting to see. Honestly, the most I expected from Zelda was like Wind Waker HD or something like that from here. So seeing like an actual new game, even a spin-off, is very exciting.
That's a great segue. Yeah.
I say going with Wind Waker. I'm glad you picked up on that. First of all, I was right. Just want to say
you
that
were right.
Again for the second
you were right.
time today.
And that's why I changed my mind a little bit on there when I started thinking about F-Zero and stuff. I'm like, you know what? They're gonna do that for F-Zero.
And I'm gonna say this is the big thing everyone put against it. They showed Sunshine as being one of the launch titles with Finiso, even though they released it already.
They did. Well, you can't buy it anymore, so there's
true.
That's where they're at with that, I guess.
No, yeah. We didn't see Pikmin, we didn't see Metroid Prime, which was all the re-releases. So but I'm sure those are going to come eventually. But no, we are getting GameCube, Nintendo Switch Online, exclusive to Switch 2. Like this, that's what they said. We're getting Wind Waker, F-Zero. What was the third game they showcased?
Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2. That was exciting to see. And then at the end, they showed a couple of them. It was both Pokemon
I'm almost
XD,
there.
Pokemon XD and Colosseum, Sunshine, Chibi Robo, and there's a
you
couple
forgot about
of...
F-Zero, but
F-Zero.
F-Zero, Wind Waker. I got the list right here, actually.
Okay.
Well, I had the list. Now it's gone, of course. I'll scrub back there. Okay. But yeah, you had okay, now they're talking about how you can remap the buttons. So yeah, Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Colosseum. Those are the ones that they showed.
Chibi Robo and Path of Radiance, I'm so excited for because those are two
expensive games.
And I'm just like, I'm hope this probably won't change anything with at least the reuse, the what's it called?
Resale value or whatever.
The pre-owned gaming market or however you want to put it. But at least at my local game stores, after N64 NSO came out, I noticed over the next year or two, their prices went down a good $10, $20.
Down a little bit.
I'm hoping this happens with GameCube. Probably not.
Maybe. I bought my copy of Chibi Robo back when it was new.
Yeah.
And same thing with Fire Emblem. And I also found a copy of Fire Emblem in a recycle bin, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
That was one of the luckiest things. I was like, I found a GameCube in a recycle bin, and then I opened it, and there was a copy of Fire Emblem in there,
That's awesome. That's
which I later traded for a copy of Go Go Hypercrime because that game is also
yeah.
ungodly expensive on the
But
Google.
no,
So
just
that was a good trade.
Chibi Robo alone, at least for me, makes me so excited. Cause I've never played any of the Chibi Robo games, but I feel like they're the type of games that are right up my alley. They're just very like pure Nintendo-y games, to put it
Yeah,
simply. And I'm like, I want to play these, but you have the first one that's expensive. You have Park Patrol, which was exclusive to DS, or not well, exclusive on the DS, but exclusive to Walmart for some
it
reason.
was exclusive to Walmart. Yep.
And then you had Ziplash, which we don't talk about. Um,
I was fine with Zip. It's just a different sort of game, but I mean, I was fine.
I've
with it.
never played it. I do own
It's
a
fine.
sealed. I own a sealed copy of it just because I was like, I was at a game
You
store.
should play it. It's fun.
Okay, maybe I'll find
Yeah.
if I ever get a
It's
3DS.
It is different than all the other Chibi Robo games, but it is a fine game. Nothing's wrong with it.
Gotcha.
Oh, the controller. Yes.
Oh, this is a
I
pure
am
wireless
so-
GameCube controller.
Yes, I'm so excited. I have so many like off-brand like PDP or whoever
Yep.
the odd third.
Hori.
I love the GameCube controller, and I will definitely be getting this immediately.
And they did showcase that it has the C button and an aux port.
Yeah.
That was very brief.
What I want to know is, are the triggers analog? Or are they digital triggers?
I wonder that.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be. It doesn't have to be, but like they were pretty.
We'll see.
But they're pretty. The other ones have been pretty premium controllers, and they've been
pretty authentic. The only reason I say that is because it's all the third-party ones are all digital triggers, and the original GameCube has like pressure sensitive, like how hard you hold the button down. We'll find out. I'm gonna buy it anyway, so I'll let you know if you haven't got it by then.
I'll probably end up buying it too, and I want to see that launches day and day with the Switch too, if I remember correctly. Most likely, at least. I'm sure it does. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
we'll get it regardless.
Yeah, after that we got a few more third parties. The big three that I took away from this was Borderlands 4 kind of threw me for a loop. I was not expecting to see that. I've never really I've never played Borderlands, but more just, this is a big third party game that's coming out, like pretty much going to be coming out day and day with the other platforms. That's cool to see.
Some people will totally care. I'm not one of them, but I'm happy for you if you're that guy.
I'm in the same place, but just kind of more like, oh, wasn't expecting to see you here. Cool. Like you said already, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they kind of tease that they're going to bring the other two in the trilogy to the Switch too. They're like, stay tuned for more news from the FF7 series.
So I'm almost wondering, is that coming to Xbox now too? Because that seems like the sort of thing where they're like, we're getting rid of the PlayStation exclusivity. We're going to bring it to everything. I guess we'll find that out later.
It's on Xbox. Am I wrong?
It's not.
Oh.
It's not.
I'm sure it would.
It's been exclusive to PlayStation, and they brought it to PC, and they've been talking like, we're going to bring it to Nintendo platforms. They're going to bring it to, So it's like, did it come out on both? Did it just get announced here? I'm not sure.
Gotcha. And another big one I got from that was of Hollow Knight Silksong, which the biggest thing I took away from that was I thought we didn't have any kind of idea of when it was releasing, and they showed 2025.
It just said 2025. Yeah.
Did we know that already, or?
I don't know because I have. I want to get into that, and I will eventually. It's just it's on that. It's on the list.
That list, yeah.
I'm not there yet.
I just know that Hollow Knight or Silksong, they had a release year of like 2023 or something, and they're like, we're gonna push it, and eventually we'll push it out indefinitely. I know I couldn't remember if it was a case where they didn't even have a year for it. So when I just saw 2025, I'm like, maybe that's a big deal. I don't know. So I just want to highlight.
I know a lot of people are very excited for that, and they're very excited for. You didn't write Deltarune on here, but 3 and 4 is supposed to be launch day of the Switch, I believe.
I did not.
Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4.
And those are both also games we've been waiting for a couple of years now, I believe. I think at least 1 or 2 years. I'm not too into that side of things either, so I might be wrong.
So I remember your Thomas, he mentioned it, and he seemed to be pretty excited about it.
Yes.
I can't get into that. Like I played all the way through Undertale, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't my thing. I'm just
Yeah.
not. I can definitely see the appeal. 8-4
Mm-hmm.
is publishing it, and if you've never listened to their podcast, check their podcast out. They do incredible work. They're a localization company. They localized Xenoblade Chronicles X actually recently that just came out. So
Okay.
as well as several Fire Emblem games and stuff. They do a lot of good stuff, and they have a great community there too.
Gotcha. No, but that was one I meant. I did think of Thomas because I think, remember quickly, I think that was his wild prediction. I could be wrong. I think
He
that was
said 3, and they're doing 3 and 4.
four. Yeah.
So
So when I saw that, I was like, God, like dang, like at least one of our wild predictions came out.
oh, I already knew mine wasn't happening. I just
Yeah. I knew we weren't going to get Street Pass,
Will
but I was
Kai
like,
Watch
maybe.
come back?
Yeah. No, but so no, that was cool to see as well. I forgot. I think that's what they started with. But yeah, I think I can't think of any other the third parties I want to highlight from that. Unless you have anything
Uh,
that
I'm
you feel like
just
it's
I
worth
could
talking
scrub
about.
through them real quick. Let's see, Deltarune, Borderlands, Civ 7,
You know, we talk about
Into the
Evernote as
Gungeon.
well.
Oh, I gotta point out this thing called Star Seeker
Oh,
because
that is neat.
that's where everyone's stream froze. And so no one, if they were watching it live, they didn't get to see Star Seeker. It doesn't look
Oh,
that interesting to me. I don't really care, but I feel like the Star Seeker people need to get a refund because their
yeah.
stuff didn't get seen,
There
you
was
know.
the before they took the stream down and uploaded the video, I saw that the direct had like 3.5 million views. So that was all from just
Yeah.
live. And I was
And
like,
that Enter the Gungeon 2 and Star Seeker, everyone missed.
wow. I did see though. Star Seeker I didn't get a lot from that, but my biggest thing was
hmm.
just kinda like, oh, it looks like there's multiplayer. That might be fun with the viewers. So that's always
Yeah,
my
might
thought
be
process
fun.
when I see like big old multiplayer game explore with friends.
If anyone cares about Cyberpunk, people do care about
People
Cyberpunk.
care about
I'm just
I
not one
don't
of
care
them.
for it, but I'm like, it's another thing like Borderlands. Like, cool to see it. I know there's a big audience for it.
Yeah,
Rather have it than not have it. But
yeah. Then they got their like sizzle reel at the end with like a bunch of like, here's this
that's
game. Split
right.
Fiction was on there. Split Fiction.
I'm so
Me and
excited.
Jonathan played through, by the way, recently on Twitch. We just finished it last
Uh,
week. Great game.
I okay.
Top tier game of the year right now for me. It is so fun.
So split.
So fun.
I'm actually going to be. I'll just say it now. I'm going to be getting a PS5 today. Finally,
Nice.
I've been putting money to the side, and my break-in point was Split Fiction. When I didn't
Mm,
look up the platforms for that when they announced at the Game Awards. I was like, okay, cool, that looks awesome. I'm going to play it. And then when it came out, I was like, oh, okay, like what? I know it's not on Switch, but what platforms is it on? It was like Series X and PS5 and PC, and I was like,
mm.
shoot, they're finally abandoning me. No, I was like,
You get on
no,
Switch too.
I could get it, but I'm also there's other games I want to get on PS5 plus to
Oh
play a
yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
PS4 games. So it's like I'm already like I'm fine with this, but I
Mhm.
did even with that I got really excited when I saw Split Fiction. That's a game that from the moment we saw it at the Game Awards, I'm like that's going to
You
probably
will
be my
have a
favorite game.
great time. I have several videos from street Twitch clips
Yeah.
that I probably should send you after you play it because it's so
I have
funny the whole
avoided.
time. So
I see so many people uploading videos of it. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope,
yeah,
because it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
very story.
It's good.
Very,
It's so good.
so yeah, but
Let's see. So I'm just gonna run through these little sizzle reel things.
yeah, go for
Anything
it.
that interesting. Katsunigami, Path of the Goddess. That's on Game Pass right now. That game is
Yeah.
actually pretty fun.
Oh, that's
That's
something I do want
coming.
to highlight with the scissor wheel. A lot of these
Mm.
games were almost all of them were at the Switch Direct last week.
A lot of them were. They were just kind of like, hey, this is the thing. Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar.
Story Seasons,
That was there.
Tamagotchi.
Yep. One that I'm super excited about. We already knew about, so it's not on my like new. Oh, Wild Hearts S. That's a new thing I forgot
Yeah.
about. But Professor Layton's coming back.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to write that
So
down.
excited. I'm
I
so
am.
excited. Well, I
I
mean,
was
we already
obs-
knew that. Like
we've known for a while, but I don't
we've
know.
known.
But we knew it was this year, and I'm just like, I was hoping for a release date, not just 2025 again, but
Yeah.
they've been set on 2025 for a while now, so I don't think it's gonna get delayed. They're just giving it the time it
Nah,
needs.
I think it's Star Wars Outlaws is coming, which a lot of people were kind of mid on that when it came around. I played all the way through the game and I actually really enjoyed it. So maybe this
Okay.
is an opportunity for people to get in and
That
give it
was
a
a game
go,
where
maybe
when it
potentially.
showed up, I was like, "Is this a
I'm
game?"
shocked.
Well, I like just looking at asking my chat. I was like, "Guys, is this a game we don't like or a game we like?" Because I have no idea.
Well, you
So
got to be careful asking the internet things like that
that's
because
true, but just to get a
once
general
everyone decides this is a game we don't like,
that
everyone jumps on that bandwagon.
that's true. That's
So,
true.
and
Um,
that's unfortunately what happened with that game is like, oh, we got on the poo
gotcha.
train, but I was like, if you play it, pretty good. And
No,
Shinnen has a new game, Fast Fusion. Remember I mentioned a
yeah.
Fast RMX,
How did I
but they have a
forget?
new
I
game.
missed a couple on the second third party wave.
Oh, that's why I pulled it up because I was
I'm
like, oh,
glad you
I'm just
pulled
gonna
it up
stream
because yeah, when I
this
saw
real quick.
Fast, I was like, yes, and that's day one as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yeah, a lot of these are just repeats though. Fortnite, shocker, der.
yeah, Fortnite. I was shocked we didn't see Minecraft along with it, but I'm sure that's gonna be day one.
Yep. Yeah. And there's that last one, which I don't know if did you put down your list here, which I am
What's the last one?
struggling to remember the name of. Bloodborne 2, practically Dusk Brothers or whatever it's called. It's Dusk something, I feel
Like
like.
Full Blood. Yeah,
We're gonna get to the end. We're just throwing those words out because they sound right.
yeah. It was like
We'll get
Full
there though.
Blood. That the new FromSoft game. The new FromSoft game.
Yes, the new Bloodborne asset flip. Uh,
Yeah.
that's what I'm calling it.
I that obviously as you could probably tell from the hat I'm wearing and the stuff you see here, not much into that side of the gaming sphere.
Not your audience.
So I was like, this looks very visually impressive.
Yes.
I don't really care. So
My thing was it, and I was talking to Jonathan while this whole thing was going on. Dusk Bloods. So I said Dusk Brothers, so I wasn't too
that's
far off.
Bloods. I'm almost there.
Yeah. I was getting Mario Brothers and whatever, but yeah, so Dusk, that to me in that like genre of game, like I can appreciate it. I get why people like it. I'm so glad I'm not into it though, because it's such a time of frustrating, headache inducing time vampire. I'm already struggling to get through the games I play.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, when it comes
Like
to big or longer games, typically though the big open world games, the only ones I've ever tackled are the Zelda ones because it's Zelda, and
mm,
I've dabbled in it.
it's
Like
the
I,
trial and error of it I don't like. It's the
is it?
dying 30
Yeah.
times. I can't.
Oh, especially freaking Dark Souls. I'm not saying you can't have fun in those games, but to
Mhm.
put it simply, I play games to have fun. I don't have
Yeah,
fun when a game's like, okay, so here's where you're
stomping
at.
you into the ground.
Here's the difficulty, and eventually you'll get here. Like, no, I wanted to be hand in hand, like ways
There
together.
are there are a few that I have played and have enjoyed, like Sekiro. I like Neo. Steel Rising is a good one. I think that's a
Yeah.
good beginner one if you ever wanted to get into it. And what was that other one I played recently with the monkey? Black Myth
Wukong.
Wukong. Duh. Yeah,
Wukong.
it's like the monkey
That is
guy. What's
one
his
that
name?
piqued my interest. If that's the game that's on my PS5 list. That like I might pick up that one, but I think the
Yeah.
closest I'm ever going to get those kind of games is when I did my Master Mode series of Breath of the Wild, and
Mm.
I had a ton of fun with that. But also that series took me over a year to stream, and it was over like 200
Yeah.
hours, and I'm like that was more because I did that leading up to Tears of the Kingdom. That was more my farewell to Breath of the Wild, at least in terms of
Yeah.
content. Less I really am into like super hardcore gaming like that. But that
Mm.
was fun.
Yeah.
Um
What do we got next here?
so next, I believe because that's it for the third parties. We had two more big game announcements. There's the next one. Am I
What's
wrong?
the two?
Oh, you're just trying to think too. So the next one was Corby Air Riders,
Oh.
which
Mm.
okay, ooh, I think I have two very
I got
opinions.
things to say about this, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, let me be excited for a minute then.
Oh yeah.
So I always said this before, massive Corby fan. It doesn't show here, but I have Corby stuff all over this room. And I mean, when
don't
you
see no
forced the
Kirby.
moment I saw just the little star bouncing around, I was like, "That's Corby. That's the warp star." And I was like, "Come on!" And he saw Corby coming. He just kind of kept smacking the warp star, and I'm like, "What's going on? What is this?" And for a second, I got reminded of the Smash Ultimate
That's the
intro,
thing.
and
I was like, is this Kirby or is this
this is
Smash? Which is
Smash, and
it?
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, maybe this is Smash because I'm like, they're really building this up. And then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
the moment I saw the environment, 'cause that area we saw is the forced area from Corby Air Ride, or at least the area that like the box art. At least it looks like it to me. And I was like, there's no way. I'm like, this is a new Corby game. It's not Corby Air Ride. And then you saw all the other air wide machines come through, and I think that was the moment where I jumped out of my seat because I never thought we were going to get another air wide game, let alone just another Corby game launching pretty much within the first few months of the Switch 2.
So when the Warp Star got like the engine like on it, I was like, "This is Kirby Air Ride."
That's why when it got the engine right before,
No, it's
that's
just
when I
like, hold
realized it
on.
was. Yep.
So I like Kirby Air Ride a lot too, and I am excited for this. My main thing about it is though, and this is just like it's not really a complaint even. It's just like this is a we two of your big first party titles are racing games right off the rip. Come
No, I
on
didn't think
now.
about that
You couldn't
one.
have spaced that out a little bit better? Like
Yeah.
that's a weird cadence of like you're essentially competing with each other. I mean, mind you, most Nintendo fans are gonna buy both.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
But
Corby Air
I'd be
Wide would
way
probably.
more into Kirby Air Ride if it had some distance from Mario
Yeah.
Kart.
Also, did they drop a release date or did they just say 2025?
They said 2025. I feel like they should have said 2026. But
It's probably
again,
going
that's
to
just me.
if I were to
I'm not
guess,
a
it's probably
marketing
going to be
genius.
like October, November. Still a couple of months away from Mario Kart because we have
Yeah.
like the
And
only
don't get me
two.
wrong, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm just like, did no one bring this up? Like
I didn't.
that's what
I
my
didn't
thought
think about.
process is.
I think when Nintendo was like me, like yeah, Kirby.
Yeah.
And Sakurai's back.
I don't know.
I do.
Yeah, and Sakurai's back. I mean that right there.
So
But I mean if I were honestly what I would prefer to see from Sakurai and I think would hit harder
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus, come on, man. Where
I
is this Kid Icarus? Like,
I've been wanting
Kid
to
Icarus is so
play
good. Uprising,
Uprising. I've never played it, but it's one of those games
so
that
good.
I really want to play. That's why I need to get a 3DS. But I was also like,
I didn't have
maybe
a 3DS.
I don't know why I don't have one. It's kind of weird. It's like the
I
one
have one I
gap
could sell you. We've had this conversation
we've
before.
had. Yeah,
Yeah,
we should figure that
I
out
need
one
to get with you.
day.
I need to get with you. I have an extra 3DS I can hook you up with. But
Anyhow,
yeah, I don't know.
I was constantly hoping they were just gonna port Uprise into the Switch or maybe Switch 2. Maybe that'll still happen one day, but either way, we now know the mystery game Sakurai's been working on because he brought up that he started working on
Yeah.
the game like 2-3 years ago whenever he started his channel. So it's like okay, this is in. Very excited. Didn't get much from it. It's very much just a cinematic trailer, but something I'm sure we're probably going to get, if I were to guess, another direct. This time more of a normal direct than like the September direct we typically get. That's
Yeah.
probably going to be more of a, hey, here's, the holiday games and give us a look at 2026, a better look at 2026.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. And the final game that we got was Donkey Kong Bonanza, which
Yes.
I don't remember if you remember the 3D Donkey Kong rumors we got like a couple years back of them working on. I believe we don't know if this is the Odyssey team, but supposedly the Odyssey team was working on a 3D Donkey Kong game a few years ago, and I lost hope after a while. I just figured it's just not going to happen. But here we are, and he has the new design we see in Mario Kart as well.
I don't know if I'm in love with that new design. It's not offensive, but at the same time, I think I like the old design a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta let it
being
cook
said,
look like a little.
I think this is probably my favorite game. I'm most excited for me personally because it looks like as a single player person, I'm gonna enjoy the mess out of it. This is gonna be the game I buy the system for, probably.
Yeah,
realistically,
about a month.
I'm gonna get other stuff, but
yeah. This is your hey, don't worry, single players. We got you. Here's I'm like a nice big. I'm expecting this to be about Mario Odyssey esque scope, maybe a bit
Me too.
smaller, but like around that, like, this is a big first party platformer. And
And
I'm
it
sure
looks like
that
the
3D
environment's
Mario's
completely
down the road, but
destructible. That's the thing. He
yeah,
can like
that look
bear
when you saw him
burrow through everything.
dig down underground, and I was like this, and I this is something as a big fan of all games, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I
Mm,
like that
love
all
Jungle
the
Beat.
villains. It's like another crew of of apes. I like that
Yes.
in Jungle Beat, and I like that they're doing that here again. Like this is fun. I'm very excited for us to see more of this game. I'm sure we'll start seeing a lot of it in the coming months because it's 3 months away.
Disappointing it's not a launch title, but it's so close. It's like, yeah, it's fine. It's
I
like,
don't
you
think
know,
they wanted to get drowned out by Mario Kart.
other stuff. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean,
two
I'm
different
down.
games,
It's just
but
like
yeah,
I'm pretty excited for it. Like, because realistically, right now, like, of course, there's Mario Kart. There's gonna be games I want to play, but this is like the game I'm buying the system
the
for
system
currently.
for it at the
Because
beginning.
I
No,
can play Metroid and Pokemon ZA. I could play those on Switch One if I
yeah,
wanted to. I'm not going to, but I could.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
no.
but
So no, I
this Switch
definitely,
Two exclusive, gotta do it.
yeah, no, yeah. And that's one thing. Pretty much, there was no outside of games that we already knew was Switch One. There was no Switch Two, no cross-gen games like new to this direct. This was all
Yeah,
Switch
outside of the
Two
ones
games.
they highlighted. Yeah, exactly.
Outside of Prime 4 and
Um,
Pokemon, which we have known about for over a year now
already
for
correct.
both of them. So it's like, okay, we knew these were going to be Switch 1 games.
And that
But there's,
there may end up being more, but yeah, I
like,
was
I think
surprised there wasn't
Tomodachi
more.
Life and what's the other one? Rhythm Heaven. I think those two will
Mm.
probably end up getting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they won't even do Switch 2 editions, but just the backwards
They're
compatible.
so rudimentary already. I doubt like a Switch
Yeah.
2 is really necessary to
Unless,
improve
I
much.
don't. Yeah, I don't. Now I just think about that, but they'll probably will be like, hey, like, they'll probably put in the ads, like, this plays on Switch 2 as well, just to, like,
Yeah.
boost them a bit. Like,
Maybe they'll do something
yeah.
with that 3D audio they were talking about with Rhythm Heaven or something like
Yeah,
that.
I get that's it. I
That'd
see.
be
I
pretty nifty.
That's why like I'm thinking like Mario Party wasn't a game I was expecting to do a Switch 2 edition for, but then they're like, oh, they can't like kind of use some more wacky stuff. I can almost see at least with Tomodachi Live a way you can like use the microphone in like fun ways for that. Use the camera maybe use the cursor to move Yumi's around. So maybe they'll do
See,
something.
I don't even own Mario Party Jamboree yet, so this is like cool. I'll just buy the Switch
It's
2 version eventually.
in my opinion the best Mario Party. Like they've
I've
nailed it.
heard great things,
They
but
have
it's just like,
nailed
who am I
it.
gonna play with? I'm gonna have to get on one of your streams and play. That's the only way
Yeah,
it's gonna
I've
happen.
I streamed the story mode on my channel. That's all I did,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I have done a disservice to this game. I need to play it more.
Let's play more when we all get our Switch 2s and cameras and we can all have that like a whole
Yeah,
kit and caboodle.
we'll do
Yeah,
the
let's do
game
it.
chat. But guys, look, we're hitting the C button. It's wheel.
Yeah, your poor internet's just gonna be like, stop.
Yeah.
So much crap going on.
I already take up so
Uh,
much bandwidth in my stream already.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the stream, the upload, the Switch and the cameras, and it's just like
God. But no, I think like that's about it. Like we went on here for a good hour and some change.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. What is this game playing in the back? TMNT.
That's it.
Yeah.
Forgot that. Had
I'm
the
not
game in the
that fast, man.
background.
I just need a glance. I'll tell you what game it is. That's
Uh,
TMNT, the 2007 game.
that's fun. But no,
Yeah.
yeah, this. I guess I think you already said it, but your favorite thing from the direct was that Donkey Kong.
I think it was Donkey Kong. I would say Layton, but we already knew about Layton. The favorite new thing from the direct,
Yeah,
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I think for
How
me
about
it
you?
has to go the Mario Kart World. I almost said World Tour, but World that just the big open world Mario Kart. I can just see myself put in way too many hours into just playing races like I did with 8. Doing the open world. Like I said, hopefully we're going to get some kind of mission mode thing to go with the free roam stuff. I see myself 100% in that. Like this is the kind of game I
I'm
think I'm going to
sure
sink a lot of hours
they've
into.
they've been taking notes from Forza and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it.
I'm positive they have.
Yeah,
So
I will say I am. I'm shocked that they somehow lived up to the over 10-year hype for the next Mario Kart game.
They had to do something big, and I feel
had
like
to.
they achieved what they did. So I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm very shocked that they. I was like, again, it's like, how do you follow up like Smash Ultimate? How do you follow up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that has 96 tracks? You know, like
exactly, it's
they're
insane.
like, we just make one massive track. There you go. So
there you go. Exactly. You
and
just
on
run
and
to
that
the fields
also,
now.
yeah, and then this is a random thing of Mario Kart, because I'm sure they're gonna do DLC. We'll probably hear about it at the Direct most likely.
Yeah, probably.
Perfect way they can
Get
do
Link
DLC.
back in there.
Yeah, but perfect way to do DLC. Honestly, bringing up a Link like, hey, here's like a free roam Hyrule, not as big as Breath of the Wild, of course,
Gasp.
but like a
No, that
mini.
would
It's
be
just like, oh, like we're gonna go off the, I don't know, continent of the Mario Kart world, I guess, and like here's
big
this
use.
Hyrule area, here's this Kirby area, here's Animal Crossing area, here's this a whole new area. Maybe give us a drivable.
How big do you
new
think this
city.
game's going to be? File size. What do you think? 50, 60 gigs? This is going to be a hefty game. They've got all this stuff going on at once. This
Nintendo's
is gonna
also
be
really good in compression.
a chunk. They are, but if they're good at doing that because they didn't have to worry about
Breath of the Wild
high
was
resolution.
32 gigabytes. So
yeah, this is
I
gonna
remember
be, I'm guessing 68 gigs. We're just playing prices right on file size. We'll wait till it comes out.
Okay, I'm gonna
reference
say
this
I'll
video.
go a little bit. I'll go a little bit higher than Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna say 40 for the base game.
40.
I think you're.
All right.
I think you're highballing it way too high.
We'll I don't think so. 68 gigabytes.
We'll see when.
I don't know why 68, not 70, not 65, 68. That's where I'm going with right there.
I'm gonna go around 40. I think 40's around that sweet spot for the file space of that game. Either way, it's gonna be bloody massive.
Yes.
But no. I guess that wraps this up here. Please let us know in the comment section below. What was your favorite popular Switch 2 Direct? What games are you excited for? Are you going to be getting it day one or not? All this stuff. Let's have those conversations down below. And yeah, Michael, where can everybody find you?
You can find me. I do a podcast called Welcome to the Game Room with an exclamation point at the end. Joey's been on there a bunch. He's going to be on there in the future. I do stream on Twitch as well at MicMacIRL. MicMacIRL. You got a podcast coming out too, don't you, Joey?
I do. That announcement video dropped yesterday. I plugged it during the live stream today. I'll plug it again.
Interesting video too.
Yeah, got this little guy here.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not in the bin.
Yeah,
as much as he was harassing you.
Yeah. No, that was a very fun video to make. I'm probably going to make a video on this channel just talk about the making of that video. There was like 20 minutes of scrapped footage I did not use for that alone. Because I cranked that video out in like 12 hours. Like from scripting to edit to publish. It was very crunchy, but a lot of fun to make. So what happens when your friend makes a vastly superior announcement video and you're like, well, shoot, I was just going to sit on the couch and talk.
I watched his video too. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he sent me that like a week ago, and I was like, well, I gotta up my game.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, but go check that out.
What's the podcast called, by the way?
Oh,
what's it called?
Save State Podcast.
Save State. Okay, I thought so. I was like, save something. I couldn't remember.
Yep.
All right.
So
yeah,
I'll go ahead and plug that. The first episode of that goes live on Friday. This Friday, if you watch this week, it's uploaded at 10 a.m. New episodes will be every Friday at 10 a.m. So look forward to that. Go check out the announcement video. Go check out the channel if you're watching this a few days later. And we're going to go wrap it up there. So thank you all for watching. And y'all have yourselves a wonderful rest of y'all's night. Bye.
Bye.